Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, my dear brothers and sisters. May Allah bless you all. We have with us brother Amir Hage. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless him. He's an active member of our community and always try to, with his team, guiding the community to the right decision and the right step. As he's part of the hikmah, which mashallah they are doing wonderful job. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them. Tonight, this is informative session about what's coming for the coming months about the election. So he will educate us about our right and how we should exercise our right and importance of our votes. He will answer mainly about why your vote counts. And it's very important. Why is that? Because in the past, some people, they say, oh, it doesn't matter. I'm just a voice. What are you going to do? And actually, before that, some people, they are debating, is it halal or haram actually to give your vote and to be a part of Western democracy? This is the only option. This is the only way. However, is that beneficial or not? That's what Islam will tell you, despite the method. Is that beneficial? You could achieve some goals of that? Then here you go. That's, the bottom line of this. So anyway, many of the questions that might be in your mind, we will leave that after his presentation, bi-Idhnillahi subhanahu wa ta'ala. Enjoy it. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all his effort. Jazakallah khairan, brother. May Allah bless you.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. So my name is Amir Hage. I am part of Hikmah. And Hikmah and CMPAC have joined together to create this lecture series for everyone. And the first series is Amplifying Our Voice, Why Every Vote Counts. This is a land acknowledgement. We do this because it's important to remember that what's happening in Palestine has already happened around the world. And it happened here in Canada with the indigenous people. They faced a genocide, a Holocaust, and their land was taken from them. So we have to remember that although this is London, the city of London is situated on traditional lands. It's on indigenous lands. And we have to remember that, because if we are going to advocate for our community, our people, our ummah, we have to remember that being here in this country, that this is the indigenous people's land. Just like Palestine is the land of the Palestinians, this is the land of the indigenous. So we like to just make that land acknowledgement. Further disclaimer, the content and opinions shared in this talk are solely those of the speakers. It does not represent the views of the masajids. Okay, the masajids have to be very careful. The masajids do not take, they're non-partisan. It provides this platform to facilitate education and dialogue without endorsing any specific political perspective. So, CMPAC and Hikmah and CPSA we're working together to create a politics series. It's a series of lectures aimed at teaching you about Canadian politics in preparation specifically for the upcoming elections. The first session, which we've done in different locations, is about why voting matters. And the second session will be policies of the parties provincially. Then we'll talk about federally, and then we're going to do a session about who to vote for. And that's when we will come up with a report card letting you know who is the most, what is the best, decision, and the wisest decision on who to vote for. And I know we have this back and forth about, voting doesn't do anything and politics is politics, but with what's happened over the last 15 months and what's still ongoing in Sudan and Congo and around the world, it's very, very important that we take control where we're living. We are here in Canada. We are reaping the benefits of this country, so we have to learn about the system here and how we can navigate through it and benefit from it. So why now? And we're going to say why this is to create a foundation of political knowledge to inform you, so you know how the system works. Why now? Well, you just saw the elections in America, and now, subhanAllah, there's already a provincial election happening, I think February 27th. They did a quick election. And as you see the drama and trouble happening with Trudeau, there is now going to be an election next year. So we need to prepare. The community needs to prepare. We have to do our research. We have to do our due diligence. Because in the last 15 months during a genocide, Did a lot of politicians help us? Not many. Not many. So now it's our obligation to move forward, to learn about this, and to make the wise decision of who to vote for. So our expectation is attend, ask questions, stay involved, and we need to stick together, because if we're not unified, then we're not going to make any change. You'll be seeing a QR code. Please scan it if you want to volunteer or get more involved. So why voting matters? Many of us come from places where elections, didn't feel meaningful, or where the system worked against the people. Sometimes police states where your votes don't matter. We've seen this in different parts of the Middle East. Here in Canada, the rules are different, though. You have the right to vote. Your vote is a tool for change and a key way to shape the future. It's your constitutional right for all citizens aged 18 and older. And it's enshrined in the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. So it ensures that your voice is represented in policy decisions that affect your everyday life. And practicing our rights is an everyday activity. So we have to take advantage of this. When you sit at home and don't vote, it shows up in the stats. They see how many Muslims voted in the Fanshawe area. They see how many Muslims voted in South London and West London. They have those numbers. And when they see that only 5,000 out of the 30,000 Muslims voted, they don't care about us. They're going to say, we don't need the Muslim vote, because they don't come out to vote anyways. But if we actually come out and show our strength in numbers, and all it takes is just get up, the same way you get up to buy a cup of coffee, just get up, go vote, and we'll help you. We're doing the homework for you. Just go vote. That's it. It's very simple. So there are different levels of government. Federally, that's with Trudeau. Federally, the federal government looks at defense of the country, national policies, immigration, and foreign affairs. Okay? Who here is upset about what's happening in the school system? Who here is upset about that agenda, the LGBTQ agenda? Who's frustrated with that? Okay, a lot of people. Now, do you complain to Justin Trudeau, or do you complain to Doug Ford? Who do you talk to, the federal or the provincial? What do you think? Provincial. Now, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people are saying, no. I'm frustrated with the Liberal government because they're supporting this. Well, actually, the federal government doesn't look at healthcare, education, or transportation. That's provincial. That's Doug Ford. Does anyone know what party is leading the province right now? What party? PC, the Conservatives. And federally, who's running the country? Federally, the Liberals. Okay. And then municipal we have like Josh Morgan, the city programs, roads, our police service, city transport. A lot of people don't understand this. They think, I'm sick and tired of the education. I'm voting Trudeau out. That has nothing to do with him. Nothing to do with him. They divide the money and ship it off, but it's Doug Ford that's in charge of that. Okay? So there's a difference between these two areas. And it's important to know this because what's upcoming? Which election is coming? The federal or the province? Province. So we have to do our due diligence. Can anyone name some provincial MPs that they know of? Who are some provincial MPs in the city? Let's say from the NDP. Who knows any from the NDP? You have Peggy Sattler, you have Terence Carnegan, you have these types of MPs. Okay? Yes? Right? These are provincial. They are now all up for election. Okay? So it's very important that we do our due diligence, and we'll get to this. Now, there's two sides to this kind of government. There's the political side, where the political parties debate in the House of Commons. They pass laws that impact our life: healthcare, schooling, taxes, immigration. The politicians, okay, like Lindsay Matheson, Peter Fracascados, these are the people that are accountable to you. And if they don't deliver, you vote them out. So, for instance, Lindsay Matheson of the NDP party is a strong ally of the Muslim community. She helps us out. She fought a lot to bring people from Gaza back to Canada. She's an ally. So we vote to keep her in. People like Peter Fragascaros, his foreign policy, he supported what was happening in Gaza. He was supporting the genocide. And it's unfortunate. And we now know his position on foreign policy, so we distance ourselves from him. And when the federal election comes up, do we vote for him? No. And inshallah, Siyam Pack and Hikmah, what we'll do is we will craft a report card for you so that you can see who has the best score when everyone starts to come out for the election. The bureaucratic side are the government workers, police, teachers, service providers, people that work for the ministry. They implement the laws, okay? You have governmental departments like the IRCC, the CRA. They are hired, they're not democratically elected. So you'll hear people, oh, you're a bureaucrat. Both the political and bureaucratic side, they serve the people. It's part of the checks and balance. So it's important to know this because people, they put them together, okay? Now, you look at this is a picture of the House of Commons, and you see all the seats, and they debate and they discuss things. The Prime Minister sets the national policy priorities and represents Canada on the international stage. He manages major issues like foreign policy, defense, and national security. And that's why we're very frustrated right now with the Liberal Party, because Trudeau has not taken the best stance on his foreign policy. The MPs are everyone that we vote for. So every time we vote for an MP, they take up a seat. So you'll see all these seats. The more allies we put into this house, and the more, let's say, Muslims run for politics, the more people, the more voices for the community. And that's what we want. We want more voices for the Ummah. Whenever there's something happening that involves the Muslims, we want to have these voices speak up for us. When an atrocity happens, we want these voices to speak up for us. But if we don't vote for anyone, someone else might lobby against them. Someone else might say, hey, help me out, help my community out, right? Help the indigenous. There's another indigenous group that might go to them, or ethnic group that might go to the politicians and say, no, we want your help. Do what we want. But then when something happens to the Muslim community, they don't care about us, because what do we have to offer? We don't donate to them, and we don't vote for them. So do they really care about the people dying in Gaza and Sudan? No, they don't care. Because that's how it is, unfortunately, in this country. Give and take. But there's a way to do it in a very halal manner. There's a way to do it that benefits us. And you do it fi sabilillah, and you'll start to see a change. You'll see Islamophobia reduced, and you'll see foreign policy more in favor of our community. So how is the Prime Minister of Canada chosen? So right now you have Trudeau who's resigned, and I think in March we're going to find a new Liberal leader. You have a majority. To get a majority government, you need more than 170 seats out of 338. Okay? If you don't have, and if you have a majority government, you actually have higher legislative power, which means that they can pass laws a lot easier. Because when you go for a vote, well, they have the majority people, as you can see in the House. If the majority of all these seats are red, when they say, we want to pass this law, who wants to vote for it? Well, everyone who's red is going to vote for it because it's their law. When the Conservatives want to pass their law, they're going to have 30 people against 170, for instance. So it's important that we vote so that we can balance this majority versus minority. Minority is anyone that has less than 170 seats, okay? We have to remember this, and this should be what motivates you to get out and vote. Because the more allies we put in, the more, for instance, of one focus on, the better. Because we want a majority. But it's very hard. So how elections work in Canada, there's the voting process, so it's free and fair elections, okay? You have a secret ballot, so they don't know who you voted for. They just know that you went and voted because they check you off, okay? It's very fair and transparent. The elections are every 4 years, or sooner if the government, what's called, loses confidence. What makes it trustworthy? And this is, I know you're wondering, why is he saying trustworthy? What's the fear? A lot of Muslims come from countries that are police states in the Middle East. They don't vote. They don't care. and it's very hostile. We're here, there's independent election commissions with no influence. There's international observers that even monitor it, and the votes are counted multiple times. So trust is built through participation, plain and simple. That's the takeaway. The more we vote, the more our voices are heard, and the system will reflect our needs. Okay? There's no repercussions. If you vote for this party or vote for that party, there's no repercussions. Okay? There are consequences, because if one group of the Muslims in London vote for this person, and a group of experts are saying, don't vote for this person does not believe, does not support Islam, does not support your right to practice Islam, why would you vote for that person? Right? It's common sense, but sometimes people just vote for that person, or they don't vote when we need those numbers to vote for the other person. So it's very, very important. So voting is a tool for change, plain and simple. Okay? Politicians will prioritize the communities that show up to vote. If you do not show up to vote, they do not care to listen to you, even though it's their job. Even though when they are elected and they're in your area, they have to listen to you, but they'll drag their feet. They won't care as much. And we saw this more than ever over the last 15 months while watching a genocide, the most documented genocide in history, unfolded. You can watch it every day on your phone before our eyes. And if you think that's bad, you barely see anything about Sudan because the politicians don't care. And we have to change this. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is very, very wrong. And we can change this. And all it takes is just to show up and vote. And like I said, Hikmah and we are going to do homework for you. We meet with the politicians. We talk to them. When they come to us and they try to play the political game, vote for me, yes, how are you, salam alaikum. No, you can't fool me anymore, no more. We are not brain dead anymore. We are aware, we are angry, we are upset. Because the ummah is under attack. We aren't very safe anymore, unfortunately. It's the reality. But how we change this is, like I said, getting more and more people in the House of Commons that support us. You have people like Lindsay Matheson, mathalan, that supports, that is pro-Palestinian. She wants the genocide to end in Sudan. She advocates for more aid to go into Sudan. She advocates for more aid to go into Gaza. So that's one voice in the House of Commons. Okay. Do we not want to get more people like that speaking on our behalf? Now, what about getting Muslims to run for politics? What are our thoughts on Muslims running for politics? What do we think about that? Because it's a very, very touchy subject. We should. Now, the interesting thing about this is that politics is a very, very dangerous game, as you see. You see people that run for politics. When Justin Trudeau was elected, I think 8-9 years ago, everyone was very happy, correct? Remember when he won? Everyone was very happy. He was like his father. He made Canada safe again. But look at him now. Look what happens. So there are the dangers. To be in the politics, you have to be strong. You have to stand strong with your principles, especially with Islam. And they might say to you, listen, you have to go to these events. You have to participate. And it's hard. It's very, very hard. But if you're strong enough, you can be a strong advocate. You can be in politics. And you can speak up against injustices around the world. And it's a voice for us. But if we're not going to have Muslims run, then at least go out and vote. It's the least you can do. And if you say to yourself, I don't know who to vote for, I don't know anything about this, well, that's why we're doing this. We're doing this to educate you. We're doing this so that you know how to do it. And then we are going to, on a silver platter, show you who to vote for. And you might say, well, I can't vote for this person. What about, I'm in this area? That's fine. We develop a report card for your area. So if you're in this area, we'll tell you the 5 candidates and we'll say, this candidate is pro-Palestinian. This candidate is pro-Sudan. This candidate is for the Ummah. They believe in our right to exist. Check. This politician is unfortunately not pro-Palestinian. They believe in war. They believe in corporate greed. Don't vote for that person. So now you know. All you have to do is remember the name, go to the closest voting station, and you vote. And that's it. And then they will see, oh wow, 25,000 Muslims voted in London. I have to listen up to the Muslims now. They're unifying. And you know, when the Shaykh mentioned that today, you know, they usually do the seerah, I encourage you to try something. Does anyone here have the sealed nectar or the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ? Does anyone have a copy? I encourage you to read it. But when you read it through a political lens. Read it and look at the politics. Look at how the Prophet ﷺ, the Shura, and look at how they delegate and how they were unified and how they worked together and how they strategized. Look at the seerah through that lens when you do one read of it. Because there's a lot of politics within it. And we can learn a lot of politics through what our Prophet ﷺ did. But yet, we don't implement it now. We don't care. Everyone just wants to get up, go to their 9-to-5 job, come home, have dinner, put the kids to sleep, and repeat until we die. But we're never going to make change. We're never going to make change this way. We're not asking for your money. We're not saying donate. And the politicians do want donations. They need money so they can advertise, so they can do their campaigning. And unfortunately, in America, you see this happen all the time. They buy their politicians. They give them, here's $100,000, do what I say. And that's, see, the entire Senate is unfortunately pro-Zionist because it's been shown, the stats show it, they've all been bought out. And this is a reality. But if you're of the opinion, I don't want to give money, that's each their own. Even though there's a major tax credit, what you give, you get a huge percentage of it back, by the way. So there is a major tax credit for donating politically. And I encourage everyone to donate politically because you can only donate a certain amount. I'm not saying give $1 million. You can only donate up to, I think, what is it, like up to $3,000 a year? And they give you like 70% of it back. But if you don't want to donate money, that's fine. All we're asking is for us to unify. Because wallahi, this is different. It's 2025. And we just experienced a Holocaust in Gaza. And we are still experiencing injustice in Sudan and Congo and even Pakistan. And there's nothing we can do by just getting up every day and going to work, putting the kids to sleep. Repeat. And it's not like we're asking you every day to vote. It's one day. It's a couple days to vote. And that's it. And you'll make a change. So every vote counts. In numbers, unifying numbers together, we can make a change. So it's a call for action. We need volunteers to organize in writings. We encourage you to join our team, make a difference, because when the time comes, the politicians need people to go door to door with them. And if you have time and you're motivated, you go with the brochures and you advertise and you show them that not only are we going to vote, but we're also going to dedicate our time. Does anyone have any questions about this? Yes. Yep. Yes. It's everything encompassing. It's not just Islamically. We ask them a couple questions. Okay. First, we always ask them their foreign policy, because if they're straight up, they don't care about what's happening, then we back away. They don't care about the genocide that's happening, we back away. And then we ask them, well, what are you going to do for Canadians? Because you're right, we're paying taxes, we're living here, right? I want more money in my paycheck. I'm tired of all my money going to taxes. And that money goes to social services, which is nice for some, but it almost punishes those that are educated and worked hard to make their money. So some people are like, I want to vote conservative because the conservatives are more in line with Islam and the conservatives put more money in your pocket. But the conservatives, unfortunately, their current leader Their current leader, this man right here, Pierre Pollier, he's quite Zionist, very, very, very Zionist, and quite racist, unfortunately, in my humble opinion. So, do you really want more money in your pocket, but notice that Islamophobia is on the rise? Do you really want more money in your pocket when Canada is sending money against Sudan, to fight against Sudan, to send money to Israel to continue the occupation? I don't want more money I don't care for more money in my wallet. The NDP are very what's called socialist. They want everyone to be on the same playing field. They have a big agenda on dental care. Great party. But again, the stereotype is usually red or blue, liberals or conservatives. Any other? Yes. Great question. At this point, we're supporting individuals now, because you will notice that there are people that have a different moral compass. You will see people in the NDP party, like Lindsay Matheson. She's NDP, but she's one of the strongest allies in our community. She shows up to a lot of our events. She was there for us throughout this genocide, and she was speaking up in the House of Commons against the genocide. She was criticizing Canada for their position. In the Liberal Party, you have people in the Liberal Party that support Palestine, that agree and advocate for the Muslim community. So this new approach is we are going to assess and interview every politician. So we might say, okay, everyone, London West, please vote Liberal. London East, please vote NDP. Vote for this person. Vote for this person. Now, at the end of the day, you can do whatever you want. We cannot force you to vote for anyone. All we're trying to do is educate and show you that here are the points, pros and cons. There might be some areas where it's like, you know what? These are two really candidates. We have to pick one. So we're not saying everyone vote Liberal. No, we're saying we are focusing on voting for the right candidate who has morals and principles in line with the Ummah. And that's where you come in. That's where we need you to vote. So we're going to do all the hard work. Just go and vote. Sorry. It's very hard. People have thought of, what if we just make our own party? What if we just make the London Muslim Mosque Party? And, they're in this area. The problem is demographics. That area might only have 2,000 Muslims. There's about 20,000 people that are going to vote in that area. They're not going to vote for that random party. They're not going to do that. You would have to have an area that has like literally over half of the Muslims to get the vote, unfortunately. So unless you are extraordinary, it's very difficult. And we thought of this. We thought, we'll just make our own party and we'll just tell, okay, you brother, go in this one. You sister, go in that. You're going to run in that party. But the problem becomes, well, what if they go up against people like Lindsay Matheson, who's been supporting us for the last 8 years? We can't destroy that bridge. We can't cut ties like that. So we've thought of this, but it's better that, you know what? Let them do the work. We'll vote them in. We'll show them that, listen, we're going to vote you in. And they want to be in there for more than 6 years, because when they're there for more than 6 years, they get a pension. So after 4 years, they're going to come knocking on our door. Hey, salam alaikum. It's election time. Can you vote for me again? And that's when I'm going to say, well, what'd you do for Sudan? What'd you do for Palestine? What'd you do for our London family? Did you pass the act? No. Okay, close the door. Bye-bye. I'm not voting for you. And they'll tremble because they'll say, oh man, last year, 30,000 Muslims in London came out to vote. I'm screwed. I'm not going to get one vote. Why? Because we're unified. We are unified. And that's what I want to be the takeaway, is wallahi, we have to be unified. Okay? When you read the seerah and when you come to the seerah lecture, the Prophet ﷺ gathered more and more Muslims and the ummah grew, but they had to be unified. If they weren't unified, they crumbled. Okay? And you'll see this throughout history. all the genocides that took place in Algeria and Libya, they had to stay unified. And if you're not unified, there's like, what? Is this the life we want to live? Just get up every day, go to work, go to sleep, come back, catch Isha at the masjid when your brothers and sisters are getting slaughtered? I don't want to live like that. I'd rather dedicate my life fi sabilillah to help the ummah. And alhamdulillah, look at us. We're in a safe building. We're gonna go home and probably hang out with our family on a beautiful Friday night. People don't have that luxury, and all we have to do is just go out and vote. Why are we complaining? Why do we make it difficult? We're so blessed, wallahi. We are so blessed and privileged, wallahi. And all it takes is just get up, go vote. We're not asking for your money, wallah. And you know what? The last thing you can do is just make dua. That's it. You have a question? Mm-hmm. So the ultimate goal is getting as many allies in the House of Commons as possible. Because if you have, and obviously you'll notice that a lot of the liberals, for instance, will be more pro-Palestinian, right? You might find one or two conservatives, maybe. But the fact of the matter is ultimately how it works out is a majority of the one party will be more in line. The conservatives, you might find one federal conservative, and there was one, Karen Vecchio. She's in the London south, like the Lambeth area. That's where I am. We met with her. She had no idea about what's happening in Palestine. No idea. So we met with her a couple times, and we educated her. We showed her pictures. We sent her resources. We told her what's happening in Sudan, told her what's happening in Pakistan. She could not believe it. We kept working on her, educating her. There was a vote in the House of Commons, and Pierre, this guy, told his whole caucus, his whole team, he said, everyone vote against this motion. And it was a motion that was pro-Palestinian. Yes. She abstained. So she did not vote yes. She went to her party. And she told us, I did it because it was the right thing to do. And unfortunately, she's being kicked out of the party. She's not running for re-election because they unfortunately were very upset with her. But do you see the importance and the power of lobbying? You see the importance and power of education, of showing them the truth. And that conservative MP actually helped us out. Now, that's an anomaly. A lot of the conservatives, unfortunately, they follow their leader. This leader is very pro-Zionist. He's set in his ways. He is not an ally. We cannot benefit from him from a foreign policy perspective. Yes, he might lower taxes. He might, put a little bit more money in your pocket. But is it at the expense of your brothers and sisters being slaughtered around the world? I don't think so. Someone else, they might, but I can't on the day of judgment stand there and when the martyrs come to us and say, what did you do? What did you do? I did nothing. I can't. So that's it's not about voting for the party. It's inshallah getting as many people as that's our goal. That's our new strategy, is getting as many allies in the House of Commons. Razwan, do you know? What do we have? the Muslim community is growing, and the politicians know that. They know the Muslim population is growing in London. But they also know that we don't vote. The numbers, and Razwan will show you, the numbers were terrible. I don't think like 20% of us even vote. We don't. And we've had this debate so many times. Astaghfirullah, why are we voting for the kafir? Why are we voting? Why are we putting these people in? They don't care about us. Okay, we get it. We're living in a non-Muslim country. But alhamdulillah, every corner you go, there's a Muslim-owned restaurant. There's a shawarma shop everywhere. There's a, you know what I mean? Indo-Asian restaurant everywhere. Mashallah, we have so many Islamic grocery stores. We are growing. We should not be so hard on ourselves. Oh no, we don't do anything. There's so much. So much. So why can't we unify together? Why can't we actually do something about it? Listen, we're not millionaires. We can't send millions and millions of dollars. Okay, so what's the next thing you can do? Speak up. Okay, go to social media and share content. Okay, I don't like going on my phone. I don't like social media. Okay, what can you do next? I'll make dua. Perfect. But what else can you do? I'm going to dedicate 30 minutes on my Saturday, and I'm going to go door to door and hand out flyers. Because this politician said that they will advocate for Palestine. They will advocate for the Muslim community. And they'll see the Muslims are active in London. The Muslims want change. The Muslims are upset. And you have to remember, we just want in this dunya fairness. We just want our rights. At the end of the day, we don't live for this life. We love death more than we love life. But the non-Muslims, they love this life. Wallah, they love this life. They wake up every day thinking, yeah, I'm going to get up the next day and the next day. They think they're going to live forever. But nihna, we don't live like that. We crave Jannah. We crave the afterlife. That is the next step. But in this life, we deserve our rights. We deserve to live in this dunya to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We don't deserve Islamophobia. We don't deserve to be attacked for our religion or our color. No, la wallah, we don't. So it's time for us to step up. It's time for us to man up and woman up and actually put in the effort to make a change. Because I'm telling you, wallahi, I am tired of seeing dead bodies. I am tired of seeing my brothers and sisters suffering all in the Middle East. You know, alhamdulillah, we finally see Syria freed. And inshallah, we see Palestine freed. Inshallah, we see Sudan, the fighting to stop there. And the people can say, if you only saw the videos and images coming from Sudan, you would not sleep at night. Wallahi, it's disgusting. The atrocity and genocide happening there, and there is barely any discussion on that. So, wallahi, this upcoming election, we have to work hard. We have to work together to vote. Please. That's the takeaway message. Please vote. Jazakumullah khair. I'll take questions, but just if anyone has to go, Jazakumullah khair. $36. %. That's all it takes. 200 more votes, and it could have swayed the other way. And that's where we come in. That's where the Muslims come in. 36,000 of us. Okay, get rid of the kids and whoever's 18 years old at that point. Let's say 20,000. 20,000. We're lazy. It's laziness. It's laziness. And listen, it's a couple things. A lot of the newcomers to the country, people that are from back home, they're from police states. So mentally, it's ingrained in their mind. It doesn't matter. What is this? This means nothing. It's because they've been not brainwashed, but that's their life. That's all they know. And then you have the lazy group, the Muslims that are like, I don't care. Whatever. I live here. Alhamdulillah, I'm safe. I go to my work. Alhamdulillah. Right? So that's a good chunk of the population. Yes. Yeah. And that's fair. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, barakallah feek. And that's why we're happy you guys have shown up. And inshallah, you now can talk to your family about this and your friends and say, hey, we have to vote. And inshallah, we're going to have more series. We're going to continue doing this until elections because we want to continue to educate. We've done this session 3 times. We did it in the north. Naam? After Isha? Okay. Different time? Okay. Inshallah, we'll... What days do you think more people would show up? After Maghrib. So it's nice between Maghrib. Then you can pray Isha and go home. Okay, inshallah. Good to know. Jazakallah khair. Yeah, yes. Yes. Very good point. No, Jazakallah khair, please, and encourage. Jazakallah khair. Thank you. Thank you.